and then it should be recording.
Well, let's see.
Well, I think it is.
Look at that. Looky
here.
Not surprised, since you know how to do it. And I don't.
You know what? You're the expert in... oh no, why isn't this making it? Oh, there it is. I just had to turn the volume up. You're the GarageBand expert.
No, I just use it. Just because you use something doesn't mean that you're an expert.
Do you ever, hear about features? Oh, this is why this isn't working.
Yeah.
Do you ever hear about features that software can do, and you're like, you use that software all the time, and you've never thought to use any of the advanced features?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
You're like, oh, dang, people use this to the fullest extent.
Mm-hmm. If I would have known.
Okay, dokie. Should we clap?
Yeah, we should for sure clap. 1, 2, 3.
Hi, I'm Maggie.
And I'm Amanda.
And we're sisters.
In law.
We're watching Suits one episode at a time.
It's a show so nice, I've watched it twice.
And a show so great, I'm watching it late.
Thanks so much for tuning in.
Maggie's never seen it and Amanda's obsessed. They don't wear fancy suits, they are casually dressed. They are sisters-in-law and they got a show about a law firm drama that aired a few years ago. Only Suits fans, only Suits fans. Only Suits fans, only Suits fans. Only Suits fans, only Suits fans. Only Suits fans.
This is Season 7, Episode 15, Tiny Violin, and Season 7, Episode 16, Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Na 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 na.
Na 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 na. Na hey hey. Goodbye.
All right, we watched this together and...
I was so mad at this.
Yeah, I know.
I'm still mad about it.
I know you are.
Can I tell you, I'm going to tell you why I'm mad about it before we even start, and then we'll go through it, and I'll be happy, and I'll love all these characters.
Yes.
But I feel like this was just one big, long promo for Pearson, and I feel like because of that, we did not get to truly celebrate Rachel and Mike.
Yeah.
Like these characters that we have fallen in love with their love, the main characters of the show in a lot of ways.
Yes.
And now they're leaving for Seattle, they're getting married, it's their big night, and it's just like, we didn't even get to celebrate with them.
Yeah.
We didn't even get to see them go off on a plane.
Yeah.
It was all sucked up in this Jessica Pearson stuff.
Yes.
That she's not even part of the firm anymore.
Yes.
And I love her, but I did not like having to do that. I like to go to Prediction Town, but I don't like to go to Chicago.
Yeah.
In a show, I actually love the city of Chicago.
Yeah.
I mean, is that wrong of me?
No, it's not. That's not wrong at all.
It felt like two different shows happening at the same time.
It was.
Anyways.
And I have to go back and look, but because I don't remember exactly when Pearson came out. But I mean, Jessica had already left, so it could have been like truly a promo play. Like
it 1,000%
I
was a
can't
promo
remember. It was already
plug.
it was already happening though, or was about to happen. That's the thing I can't remember because I did watch Pearson. And we said we would spend an episode on that at some point.
Yeah.
We also have to spend an episode on the Meghan Markle show.
I love it. I love it.
I know. I just don't remember exactly when it came, but it does sound, I don't know. Again, doesn't matter.
Watching it, I was like, these are two different shows that have been ham-fisted together. One is about Chicago crime.
Yeah.
And then the other is about Mike and Rachel getting married.
Yeah. Wait a minute. I'm supposed to write a brief again?
Yes. It's your
I
turn.
didn't write a brief last time?
You wrote it for LA.
I thought I wrote it for both, back to back. Am I wrong?
No, you're wrong. Because look, brief for episode 13, Maggie. Do you want me to write one real quick?
We're going to do this one word at a time because
it's the season finale.
it's a season finale.
And that's how we should do things.
Yeah.
Just like they ham-fisted two completely different stories together, we're going to ham-fist two completely different briefs together into one.
Yeah.
By going one word at a time.
Yeah. Ready? It's
amazing.
Oh, wait, I was going to say that. Yeah, okay, let's keep going. It's
amazing
that
this
episode
did
really
combine
two
incredible
different
stories
into
one
mega
story
that
kinda
sorta
flopped.
However,
I
am
still
reeling
about
how
our
stars
got
together
and
are
going
to
move
across
the
country
to
Seattle
in
just
0
days.
Also,
Can
we
discuss
the
fact
that
Harvey
and
Donna
are
dancing
and
maybe
are
into
each
other
and
also
Lewis
and
Sheila
wow,
yes
get it
on
I
love
that
they
are
in
love
with
each
other.
and
I
can't
wait
to
see
season
8
and
recap
what
happens
in
season
8.
Was that the best?
That's good.
That was really good. There were some moments where I was like, yeah, we're flowing.
We're flowing.
And then some moments where I was like,
What
I
does she
don't
got
know.
to say?
I don't know.
I was like, what does she want to talk about? I don't know. That's the beauty of improvisation and being present in the moment. Not trying to force your idea, but being there to listen to understand instead of listen to respond. All right.
Okay, let's start with tiny violin. First of all, I love tiny violins.
Do you?
I love them. I love the idea of them, the melodrama of them. I was happy to see the title of this episode. I wish that there had been a tiny violin.
Yeah.
Instead of just a mention of it.
Yeah. Let's get into this before the credits.
Okay. It starts, Mike is eating cereal by himself without any lights on when a knock at the door. It's Nathan from the law clinic.
Tall Nathan.
Tall Nathan. And he's got a class action that he's kind of stumbled into, and he needs help from Mike. He either needs an investment or a bunch of associates because there are a ton of children who will never have a normal life. And Mike's like, okay, I've got an idea that will give you neither money nor associates. Such a Mike Ross way to approach this problem.
Yep. Harvey is in Donna's office and has a replacement bottle for the one that they finished last night, and so does Donna, because bright minds think alike, so do big drinkers.
I cannot believe they finished a bottle of scotch.
Yeah, and also that they went to a liquor store before they went to work that was open. They could get that bottle of scotch to replace it that early in the morning.
Also true. And also they don't look hungover at all.
No, they put it together. I feel a little groggy after my non-alcoholic Blue Moon, so... Because it's just a little bit more hoppy than I'm used to, you know?
Yeah. No, I know.
You know?
I felt groggy the other day, and I was just drinking, like, mocktails. And I was like, I feel like I'm groggy.
Groggy. They are the same person. Okay, so things are back to normal. Then Gordon comes walking in with a lawsuit on behalf of the former partners for damages done by the hiring of Mike Ross. This is all because they issued the statement about Jessica, and he is taking advantage of it.
What a slimy son of a gun.
Yeah.
So Harvey, of course, goes to immediately yell at Lewis because his idea has backfired. And I was very proud of Lewis because he's like, wait, let me remind you, I'm not the bad guy here. Stanley Gordon is.
Yes.
And he doesn't get offensive and he doesn't get offended and start yelling back.
Yeah.
He just says, like, if we can prove that this is just about getting their buy-ins back, then we can have the case dismissed.
Yeah. Then we hear our favorite song,
A Greenback Boogie.
After the credits, Mike checks in with Donna to see where Harvey is, and she tells him that he's going to be gone for a while because of the partner lawsuits. He tells her about the clinic being in trouble, and his solution is, instead of money or associates, he will work on the case. And Donna says, go get him.
Go get him.
Yeah.
I like that he's the equivalent of a $500,000 investment or an entire team of associates, just one Mike Ross. Then we see Harvey confronting Jack Zoloff, who we remember from when he was a baddie at the firm.
Yeah.
And he's like, why is your name on this list? You know Jessica took care of you. And Zoloff is like, because if it wasn't on the list, everyone would know Jessica took care of me. And then everyone would want to legitimately get their buy-ins back as opposed to going through this backdoor way.
Yeah.
So he can't back down, and he is not going to. He's not going to throw himself under the bus in order to get this to move forward. Even though Harvey's like, this could put us under. He's like, sorry, I can't do anything. My hands are tied.
Yeah. Mike tells Oliver and Nathan that he is in. And just at the same time, they get a notice that the case is not going to be submitted because Nathan and Oliver both dropped the ball. And Mike plays daddy and helps them just say, hey, look, go in, tell the truth. See what happens.
Yeah, they're like blaming each other.
So novel. And Mike wants to tell the truth.
Also, it's like the biggest case that this little clinic has ever had. And they just were like, assumed the other person was taking care of stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of a beginner mistake.
Yeah.
Then they're in the courthouse and Mike comes in. They're like kind of going back and forth with the attorney for the battery company. And Mike walks in late and he's got evidence that Mr. Collins, the defense attorney, has a history of trying to get cases dismissed on technicalities. And because of this, he's like, and it's clear he's trying to do that in this moment too. So the case is going to move forward to trial. The judge grants an extension.
Yeah. Lewis and Harvey are presenting their case against Gordon and former partners in front of the judge. Dana Scott's testimony is what Gordon is hinging this whole thing on. And Scotty said her reputation was ruined because of it.
Which I was like, Dana Scott. I was like, who's that? And you're like, Scotty. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm glad she's back, but not like this.
Right.
Then we see Mr. Collins, the defense attorney for the battery company. He's trying to convince Mike and Oliver to drop the case and settle it. And Mike's like, actually, I'm not interested in settling. This is all happening on the street, you know? He's like, tell me at the clinic at 9 a.m. Don't be late, and the offer better be good. And Oliver's kind of like, what are you doing? Like, why are you being such a jerk?
Yeah.
And Mike reminds him that he is confident he is playing this right.
Yep. Donna checks in with Harvey to get Scotty to retract her statement. And Harvey says that nothing he says is going to make her take it back. And he doesn't want to have to use their history to get something from her. Donna says Scotty is the only person who makes him feel bad about using her. And if he doesn't do this, they might go to trial and they may not win.
Which I'm like, Donna, he should feel bad about using Scotty. He has asked this woman
for so many things,
to sacrifice so much of her professional, her personal, all of this. Of course he should feel bad. And Donna's like, yeah, she's the only person who makes you feel bad.
Yeah. I know.
Like, Donna.
That's Donna trying to get on Harvey's good side, I think.
Yeah. So then Mike is biking into the office and he's met in the lobby by a man named Andy Forsyth, who took the red eye from Seattle. He is actually building a firm of his own, and he came to see Mike in action because he thinks Mike would be a great partner. And he can promise that at his firm, Mike will not have to defend the indefensible. His firm is basically taking big money to take on class action lawsuits. So that's all they're doing.
Yeah.
And he's like, you're killing out there. I need someone to run this firm, and I want it to be you, and I want Rachel Zane to be right by your side. Come talk to me at the Carlisle.
You have 48 hours.
The Carlisle.
That's where it all goes down here.
Oh my gosh.
Harvey visits Scotty at her fancy office.
Wait, is the Carlisle also where the original interviews happened?
I think so, yes. We
Dang.
should take a field trip to the Carlisle.
We should, for sure, go to the Carlisle.
Yeah. Harvey visits Scotty at her fancy office, and she says, if you're here in person, then Stanley Gordon must have got you by the balls. She also has no idea that she is the pinpoint of the entire case based on her testimony. She reads her testimony, and she is not apologetic for what she said. Harvey said that he is in trouble and he needs her help, but she is not going to put her career on the line to get him out of it. She said yes to him too many times, and he's like, you know what? I'm sorry I ever asked.
Which I don't think he's sorry he asked. He says it in such a sassy way.
I think he was trying to play her.
Yeah, but I'm glad she didn't get played.
Yeah.
She should not back down to this.
Yeah.
She's finally standing up. Then we see Rachel. She's checking in with Mike about the class action, and this case is just so depressing because it's kids and they're sick and they're going to be developmentally delayed and all of this.
Yeah.
And even with the win, money will not actually cure them. They are affected for the rest of their life.
Yes.
Rachel reminds him that he's helping them the best way that he can, but he's really struggling with it. And he tells her about this job offer in Seattle and how this Andy wants them to run this whole firm.
Yeah.
And Rachel's like, okay, I want you to do whatever this did to you, like whatever this is making you feel, I want you to use that to get those families as much money as you possibly can.
Yeah. Lewis is drinking in Harvey's office, and Harvey tells him that Scotty is not going to retract her testimony. Lewis says that they're fucked, and Harvey tells Lewis that she's not actually a part of the class, because if these guys aren't succeeding, it's not Lewis and Harvey's fault.
Right.
Right? And so it's theirs. It's like their fault if they aren't succeeding.
Yeah, like they are just not good attorneys.
Yeah.
That's why they weren't named partner. Or like,
Right.
you know, that's why. So Harvey goes to check in with Daddy Zane. He needs to get all the employee files, basically, and how they're doing the performance review from all these former partners. And Daddy Zane is like, actually, this is my reputation, and it has also been tainted by you. And Harvey's like, what do you mean? Like, he doesn't understand that his actions have consequences for all of these attorneys. He says, okay, here's what you can do. There's one way that you can get these files, but it has to happen tonight while I am at dinner.
Yeah. Mr. Collins comes to the clinic, and every single attorney who works at the clinic is there as well to show the force and the dedication. Mr. Collins offers a settlement, and Mike crumples it up. The offer is less than $60,000 per family. Mike presents evidence. He offers $100,000 per family, but Mike also rejects that and tells Mr. Collins to get out of his face, and he needs to come back with an extra zero or two. Nathan is not happy about this. He doesn't believe that the battery plant will come back, and if this goes to trial, the clinic is out of business. Mike says he needs to have balls to wait it out, and he needs to trust Mike and wait one day.
Yeah.
This is like...
Very
I'll take this
tense.
out, but this feels like when we were waiting for Liz to send the offer and we had to go to sleep and we're like, no, don't reach out till tomorrow. And then she sent it when we were all asleep.
Yeah.
It's like, it's coming.
Yeah, you do. You have to just sometimes go to sleep.
Yeah.
So Harvey then checks in with Rachel and tells... Oh, you know what this is also? Sorry. It's like Nathan is so concerned about the business side of this, and Mike is solely concerned about getting the people as much money as they can. And of course Nathan wants that too, but Nathan also has a business to run. And Mike is very cavalier with people's businesses, right? He doesn't really care like if the firm is in trouble, if he thinks he is doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Which is hard to grapple with.
I know.
Too.
I know.
Because these other people have legitimate concerns, and Mike's just like, no, just trust me. And it's like, it's kind of hard because you are a former felon.
Yep.
Harvey goes and checks in with Rachel and tells her she needs to leave early. She needs to get to her parents' house for whatever lasagna they're eating.
No, for chicken piccata.
Chicken piccata, but they eat lasagna on Wednesdays.
Yes.
Every Wednesday.
Yeah, and I said to you, can you imagine eating lasagna every Wednesday?
And I said yes.
Yeah.
I would love to eat lasagna
I
every
can't
Wednesday.
because of the ricotta cheese.
You can have it with some cottage cheese.
I know, it's just
it's
not
not
the
the
same.
same.
No.
It isn't the same. I'm going to make you, though, ricotta cheese where it's just me making it.
No, let's not do that.
But
Because
it's not,
I don't care.
No, but then you can have lasagna.
But it's just fine. Lasagna is not that healthy anyways, so it's fine. Let's not like
No, I just want you to-
ham-fist
I
some
just want you to
lasagna
enjoy
into my
it.
life.
I just want you to enjoy it.
God, where am I, Garfield?
Mondays. Okay.
I appreciate the consideration.
I just, it's one of my favorites. Okay, so then what happens? Oh, yeah, she's got to go on lasagna night to go through her father's files. And she's like, I can't do that without my dad's permission. But luckily, she has her dad's permission.
Mike goes to the clinic. Nathan has sent everyone home because the battery company called their 5 biggest investors to pull their funding. Nathan says he's going to take that offer, but Mike says Collins will only offer 10 cents on the dollar, and Nathan tells Mike to go and stay the hell out of this case.
Yeah, his actions have consequences too.
Yep.
The clinic is closed.
Yep.
Because he was a big bully. Mike then goes to the Carlisle to see Andy because he actually is not going to take this job right now. He thinks Andy has cut the funding because it turns out Andy used to work for the parent company of this battery company that this lawsuit is against. And it's just all a little too convenient for Mike. And Andy's like, no, you're being paranoid. But Mike tells him to stay the hell away from him, the clinic, and this case. Basically says the same thing that Nathan said to him, he says to Andy.
Harvey presents Jack Zoloff about the evidence he is going to read in front of the jury, which is his kind of pretty bad performance review.
He's not a good lawyer.
He's going to humiliate him in front of the jury unless he convinces Gordon and the others to back down.
Then Mike is back at the clinic. It turns out Nathan did not get an additional settlement offer. And Mike tells him about this job offer and how he thinks Andy pulled all the investors. So he wants Nathan to start a firm like the firm that Andy was suggesting, but for realty, where it's a for-profit firm, there's no caps on fees, and it's not a gamble if he wins. Like, he will always have funding. And Nathan says, well, in order to just keep this firm running right now for this case, I need $500,000. And Mike's like, I'm on it.
Yeah. Scotty is in Harvey's office. She is not there because she's been subpoenaed. She's there to say she's sorry. She also reminds him that the last time that they saw each other, he said that he was seeing someone to fix himself. She wants to know if he fixed himself. And he tells her about dating Paula after a year and 3 weeks and after he stopped with therapy. He tells her about how he dated Paula a year and 3 weeks after he stopped with therapy. Scotty guesses that Donna had something to do with the complication, and Harvey doesn't confirm or deny. She's like, that's all I need to know, right?
Yeah.
And Lewis interrupts to say Gordon is in the conference room and Harvey needs to come.
Everyone knows that Harvey loves Donna.
Yes.
Except for Harvey.
Right.
So Stanley Gordon's in there, and he's congratulating them on getting Jack Zoloff dropped out of the class action lawsuit, or the partners case. And he tells them that if they give the partners back their jobs, this whole suit is going to be dropped anyway. So all they have to do is hire these people back.
Yeah.
And they think that this is all a ploy to get Gordon back behind the wheel of the firm. But Gordon's like, no, I actually care, unlike Jessica Pearson. So you're either going to take the deal, give these partners their firm back, or we're going to go to trial.
Mike, who is looking very tired, goes to ask Donna for a loan for the clinic. Just $500,000.
A casual $500,000.
Yeah, he needs Donna to make it fly with Harvey. And he throws back in Donna's face that she thinks he's not ready and convinced Harvey that too, about being ready for senior partner. And Mike is like, wait, what's the point of trying to survive if we can't do something like this?
So manipulative. Lewis and Harvey are trying to figure out if they should take the deal or not. And Lewis is like, this could be a good deal. But Harvey says, no, there's got to be a reason why he's saying this. And just then, Donna comes in with news about Zane's firm expanding into 3 floors because when she almost lost her lease, which Lewis didn't know,
right,
she was looking at other places.
She's like, I figured it out.
Don't worry.
I got it.
Don't worry about it. It doesn't concern you. And Zane actually leased the 3 floors below them. And that means that they're trying to expand heavily. And they could only do that if they're going to bring the partners back. So if they bring the partners back to Spectre Lit, they're all going to vote to merge with Zane's firm.
Yeah.
And then they're all going to move back to Daddy's house. And Harvey is going to have to go see Zane. He's like, I got to go do this. And Donna's going to stay back because she has something to talk to Lewis about.
Yeah. Daddy Zane acts surprised by Harvey's accusation. Harvey explains it to him all, and Zane is like, I coulda, woulda, shoulda, but also he's surprised to find that this 5-year lease has been signed behind his back by Caldor and Rand. And they're stabbing him in the back, people he's worked with for like 25 years. Everyone, and then Harvey's like, you know what, Robert, I'm sorry I had to be the one to tell you this, but you need to get your house in order because I've got to get mine. I've got to take care of mine.
So he's genuinely surprised. He was not acting.
Yeah.
He's not trying to be a bad guy. Meanwhile, Mike is up late and Rachel comes in with bullshit, which means she wants to talk about some hypotheticals. So she wants to talk about this job offer from Andy because she's kind of like excited about it.
Yeah.
And Mike says, actually, that job was bullshit. It's not real. He was just trying to mess with the class action case. Meanwhile, Lewis comes waltzing in and he's got a little check for $500,000, an anonymous donation.
Dang.
Lewis lit.
And then Lewis says, Mike, we need more people like you. You've been doing the right thing since you got here. And that's when I looked over at you and we were like laughing. And Rachel goes, I couldn't agree more. Like, he has not been doing the right thing. He lied his way in here. The very first thing he did was lie.
He literally just happens to win a lot.
Yes.
And so people are just in awe of how he wins. And he can memorize like what's in a refrigerator.
Yes.
Okay? That's a cool party trick. But you are not doing the right thing. You are doing self-serving things always. And it just happens to work out fine, but you take huge risks with people's lives. You little narcissist, just like the prison guard said. But I still love him.
I know.
Meanwhile, when I keep saying meanwhile, I don't know. These aren't even happening at the same time. It's just happening around the same time.
Right.
Jessica is in Harvey's office, and she's giving him some constructive feedback on his interior design.
Yes.
And then she says, I actually need another favor because her license was taken away in Chicago. Turns out Chicago did care that she was disbarred in New York, even though she was like, no one cares in Chicago.
They kind of do.
Could have called it. Should have called it. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. And now she thinks this is because she's taking on the mayor's team, like the entire mayor's office because of a case. So she thinks this is personal and she needs him to come help her go toe to toe with the mayor's office.
Yeah.
And this all happened 2 weeks after he put out that statement. So it's kind of on him to help her.
Yeah. Harvey goes back to his apartment. He walks in. Mike and Rachel and Donna and Lewis are all there. They tell him that they will take care of things back here while he is in Chicago. They're like, Jessica sacrificed so much for us. You need to go take care of her. They're willing to do whatever it takes. Harvey gets Mike's word that if he needs to drop the clinic work, he will. They all have his back. Just go get on the plane, which is like, so much of this episode, I think I kept turning over to you and saying, this could have been a group text.
Yeah, this is
This could have been a call. Like, it's just so much time wasted in going to see people in person. However, it does make for better TV.
It makes for way better TV. Also, how did they all get there before him?
Yeah.
They must have heard about Jessica's problem from someone that raced to his apartment to confront him.
I don't know.
A little intervention.
Yeah.
Well. We've made it to the end of season 7.
It's a big one. Okay, I had a thought, and I tried not to get distracted because like an improviser needs to be present in the moment. But I did think of something.
Okay.
About this whole ham-fisting of the Pearson.
Do you disagree with it?
No, I don't disagree with it. I'm wondering if their strategy was because Mike and Rachel are leaving, and that's a big part of the show. I wonder if they're like, hey, we need to hedge our bets and make people think this is truly a crossover so that they'll watch both. because
Yeah.
they could have been worried about losing viewership, because it was sort of known that Meghan Markle was dating Prince Harry.
Right.
So we knew it was coming.
Right.
And so I wonder if they were trying to get ahead of it by being like, look at the interest here. Harvey's going out there to work on this thing. You know, like,
I know. I just
it
feel,
wasn't done. I'm not saying that I like the way it was done.
I
But I'm
understand.
wondering what their strategy was. I think it was too much of Pearson and not enough of Mike and Rachel's goodbye.
Let me tell you the best show that has ever done this successfully. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills
Okay.
had a scene where Brandi Glanville goes to confront a girl who had, like a young woman who had an affair with her ex-husband,
Yeah.
who happens to be a waitress at Lisa Vanderpump's restaurant.
Okay.
So it's a big dramatic moment. The woman that had the affair is Sheena Shea. Sheena Shea has this confrontation with her, then continues walking.
Mm-hmm.
The camera follows her into the kitchen,
Yeah.
watches her have a conversation. Vanderpump Rules just immediately starts. That's the season premiere of that, the series premiere of that show.
Okay.
And it was seamless and flawless. Note, they did not try and ham-fish Sheena Shea into the whole episode. It was just like at the end, and it kind of carried over, right? It was something that you wanted to keep watching because you're like, that's curious. I just feel like I was robbed of Mike and Rachel's wedding.
Yeah.
And robbed of this wonderful adventure.
Yeah, because I said to you at one point, I said, will you pause it? Are you sure we're watching episode 16? Because I knew what happened, and I knew that
You knew
this
they get
happened.
married.
Like, I 100% knew everything that happens, and I just couldn't remember all of it happening that squished in.
It was two different episodes.
And then at that point, like when we unpaused it, we reveal with 20 minutes left that they're gonna speed up the wedding. She's like, are they about to have a wedding in 20 minutes? Like,
Right.
plus I also knew how else they had to wrap up some other stuff. So I was like, it was a lot.
It was a lot.
It's too much,
And
Erin.
I just felt sad for myself.
Yeah.
That I couldn't celebrate with them. I wanted to send a gift.
I know. We don't even know where they were registered.
I don't even know. I don't even know if they got any registry gifts because they rushed that so much.
That sucks.
But I'm happy for them. Seattle's a beautiful place.
Yeah.
I would live in Seattle. Okay, before the credits of our last episode, Lewis surprises Daddy Zane at the street coffee stand. And he's like, hey, I need help getting rid of Gordon.
Mm-hmm.
And Lewis wants Daddy Zane to help tell all the partners not to waive the non-compete.
Yeah.
And Zane is like, no,
Right.
get away from me.
Right. Harvey is walking through the airport when he runs into some guy who is aggressive about him being in Chicago. And this guy knows that he's Harvey Specter, and he tells him he needs to check his little man purse and go back to where he came from.
Yeah, it's like an immediate threat.
Yeah.
Which reminded me, okay, one time my friend Sarah, my best friend Sarah, and I went to Chicago to perform at a comedy festival. And we get off the plane and we're walking to the metro, and we're kind of like looking, trying to figure out where it is. And one of the metro station workers goes, you're in Chicago, you got to walk a little faster. And we're like, okay, we'll pick up the pace. So it was like, I felt this. I was like, I've been in Chicago. I've had this aggression.
Yeah.
She didn't like call me by name or threaten me, but it felt same energy.
Yeah, I get
you know,
that.
same but different.
Next up, we have a flashback.
Jessica's daddy tells her that she is at war. She needs to be dressed right when she goes to school, button up everything. And she can have no imperfections because they will pull on that string and lay her bare. And she goes, I'm just a girl. And he says, if you think like that, Jessica Pearson, that's all you'll ever be. Gosh, the pressure.
That's a lot of pressure.
That would fuck with your head.
Yeah.
I kind of hate this for her.
Yeah.
That she has to be so tightly strung.
Yeah.
In order to be taken seriously.
Yeah. Jeff Malone.
Jeff Malone.
He is here in this episode. He wants to help Jessica, but she says that she needs Harvey so things don't backfire onto Jeff Malone. He wants to make sure that she has her eyes open when she marches into battle. She's taking on the city of Chicago. She's like, my eyes are wide goddamn open.
I like that the goddamn is back, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
They kind of walked away with it now that they can cuss and say the F word.
Yeah. And then we hear our favorite song.
A Greenback Boogie. After the credits, Mike presents his opening statement, and he talks about how Discharge Power, this battery company, built a battery plant 1,000 yards away from the playground that poisoned hundreds of innocent children. It's a powerful opening statement.
Depo for you. If you're going to open a battery company, what's another name besides Discharge Battery that you can think of?
Ugh.
Gross.
Yeah, I would call it yeast infection battery.
Oh, okay. I was going to call it Big Batty Batteries.
Oh, big baddie batteries. I like that. I was just
baddie
going
batteries.
with the discharge.
That's fair.
Lewis then tells Donna that Zane dismissed him, like he was not interested, and the only thing he can think of to do is let the partners come back. And then Alex is like, wait, I have an idea. What if we get those 25 partners raises and promotions to prove that they have not been harmed? And then Alex says, I've got all I need to get this done inside this dictaphone.
Yeah. The dictaphone, 10 million.
He's swinging his big dictaphone around.
Yeah. Harvey and Jessica walk to court. He is good to practice for a month, and he tells her about the run at the airport. He's like, what have we gotten ourselves into? And she's like, these people aren't messing around. They got to get this damn thing done.
Mm-hmm. But luckily, Donna filed all this paperwork, so
Right.
he's like for sure eligible to practice in Illinois. Rachel then checks in to see how the opening statement went, and Mike is like, well, it was fine, but my soil samples are delayed, and then the judge got pulled away, so we lost some momentum. He's clearly very stressed. And then she asks if he thinks Discharge Power is orchestrating all of this.
Yes.
Like, does he think that the soil samples are delayed because of it? And then if they are, they can prove obstruction of justice.
Yeah, soil samples, discharge battery. It's kind of weird. All right, Carl. Harvey.
I mean, soil samples is a pretty regular thing, but when
Sure,
you
but
put
we
it right
put it with
next
it.
to,
Yeah,
then it's like, ooh.
Harvey checks in with the judge, Miss Allen, opposing counsel, and is late and gives some sass to Jessica about being in the judge's chambers without her license. Jessica has the plans from Pat McGann that show that the city is lying about the percentage of public housing in a new development.
Yeah, Miss Allen is coming in hot.
Yeah.
She does not like Jessica. Meanwhile, back in New York, Alex goes to see Eli Gould, who already knows that this is about the lawsuit, but Gould says that they don't have that kind of money. They can't hire 25 lawyers with raises, and everyone knows that. And Alex says, well, you take 15. And he says, yeah, but I still need to give them raises and promotions. But he's willing to do it for 15. So the majority of these partners that say they've been harmed.
Yeah. Jessica talks to Miss Allen, trying to get a settlement. She doesn't want to settle, nor does she have the power. And Jessica says this project does not look good for the mayor, but Miss Allen said that she's got to figure that out with Pat McGann, not the city. And also that she needs to drop the holier than thou attitude and the Louis Vuittons. Let me just say, these people are all characters in Pearson.
I can tell.
Yeah.
Because this was an episode of Pearson.
Yes.
That I was tricked into watching.
Yeah.
Although I want to watch it. I just want to watch it on my own accord.
I know.
So then we see Jessica, and she's going to talk to Pat McGann, who is this developer who's building these high rises. And she says he can hire her for his project to make sure people don't get thrown out of their homes. And he tells her that the mayor is not going to meet with her at all because he's the one who makes the decisions. He is not afraid. He's not going to be bullied. He runs this town.
And his building is going up.
His building's going up no matter what.
Yeah. Harvey is in the low-income housing to see Lillian Cook, the witness. She does not want to testify. She thinks Jessica Pearson is handling it, but Harvey woos her, and she offers him a coffee and then calls him a pretty boy.
She also offers him a chai tea. She's not sure what he would like.
Yeah.
Pretty boys drink chai tea.
Yeah.
I'm a pretty boy. Lewis then meets with Stanley Gordon. He presents the job offers and is like, look at this. We've got all the evidence. But then Stanley Gordon is like, okay, slow clap for you. Yes, I was trying to take over the firm, but guess what? I still am going to do that because I've got even more dirt on Eli Gould, and those offers are no longer valid. And Eli is willing to write an affidavit saying he was coerced into doing that, and those were extorted. And then Gordon calls Lewis Sparky on his way out the door.
Yeah.
Can I just say, too, it's kind of wild that they're just making these decisions for these partners.
Yes.
They're like, you'll just go to this firm and get a raise.
Yes.
You'll just go here and get a raise.
Yes.
You'll just go do this
Well,
and
they
vote
could
them out.
decline it, but here's the thing. Then they don't have anything to hold it. Like they could also decline the offer and stay where they are. But what it's showing to the court, because the offer
that they're
doesn't mean
valuable.
they're accepting it, is that they're valuable. Yeah. Oliver tells Mike the soil samples are all negative and the battery company fixed the soil. Then Rachel tells Mike that Andy Forsyth was legitimately offering him a job, but Mike knows they did this, so they have to find the connection between the school beautification project and the batteries.
Yeah, basically everything's falling apart for Mike Ross.
Yeah.
In court, back in Chicago, Lillian Cook is on the stand. She's testifying to how the apartment is her community, it's her home, she's lived there for 50 years. But then in cross-examination, Miss Allen tries to put her character on trial and asks, Miss Cook, are you related to anyone in the courtroom? And turns out she's Jessica Pearson's aunt. And it's like, what the heck? So now Jessica can no longer appear in court.
Seems pretty important to disclose this to your attorney.
Seems very important to disclose this.
Yeah. Harvey's like, what the hell, Jessica? Why didn't you tell me? He does not appreciate being blindsided or being played. And I completely agree with him.
Yes.
She says that she still needs him. And she tells him she didn't live on Park Avenue for the first 10 years of her life, that her dad died 8 weeks ago. And that woman, Lillian, is his sister. And he turned his back on everyone in Chicago. And she has decided that she wants to do something about it and try and like mend those family relationships. And Harvey is back in. He's like, what do you need?
Which happens all the time in these short scenes. It's like, I'm done with you forever. And then someone says some emotional plea and they're like, okay, I'm back for now.
I know.
Harvey then goes to see Pat McGann to make a deal. Pat McGann's office is aggressively decorated. Mm-hmm. I did not like it. Yeah. If I was Jessica Pearson, I would be giving him interior design notes on this office.
Yeah.
Very heavy.
Yes.
For someone who's a developer. So Harvey tells him in this ugly office that all he has to do is give back enough units to look like it's a win. Mm-hmm. Like, you don't have to give them all back, just give some back. And also, you need to endorse and make a donation to Jessica Pearson because she's going to run for city council. Mm-hmm. So Harvey has this cashier's check for the donation, and he just has to give it to her and give her her own money back. She is well aware that she will owe him favors.
Yeah. Alex tells Lewis it didn't work. Gould is not going to participate, but then he has an idea. If they make the deal sweet enough, they can keep the partners happy and they won't rebel. Then Alex suggests that he gets named managing partner to build trust, but this is a wild suggestion.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I know how we'll make everyone happy and they won't rebel. I'll just become managing partner. Mm-hmm. And Lewis is like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Jessica then goes to see Lillian and her family. She apologizes to her cousin Angela. She learns for the first time about the deal that Harvey is making. Angela does not trust that Jessica is trying to reconnect with her family. And Angela reminds Jessica that her famous surgeon father turned his back on them.
Yep. Rachel, Mike, and Oliver are pulling an all-nighter at the clinic to try and find the connection between the beautification and the battery company. Mike finds it.
Of course.
The beautification happened 6 weeks after the suit was filed. They knew that they had liability long before the suit was brought, and it's not a coincidence. Just then, Donna comes into the clinic, could have called a text, but she walks or drives over there, right? Because Lewis needs his help. Mike has to drop the clinic work, and Rachel's going to have to take it over.
It's like, he's like, I got an idea. Oh my gosh, that would be so annoying to have like, I found the idea and then you have to stop working on a project.
Yeah.
I think my ADD would not allow it.
Yeah.
I have to hyper-focus on it. Then Jessica goes to see Miss Carrie Allen. So I didn't know Miss Allen's name was Carrie before this. But she's going to see her about her aunt. And Jessica needs a meeting with the mayor. She's like, I need to talk to the mayor. But Carrie's like, that is literally never going to happen. Jessica's like, I know how things work. But Carrie is kept around because she does what it takes without being asked to do it. And it does not ever get back to the mayor. So Jessica tells her that she's got Pat McGann in her pocket. She's like,
it's a nice pocket, too.
It's
that
a
dress
nice
and that
pocket.
coat are really nice.
It's a Louis Vuitton pocket.
Yep. Jessica tells Harvey to tell McGann it's either her or Carrie Allen. Then a guy gets out of a car on a dark alley and he tells her it's not safe, that she needs to watch herself. And it's the same guy from the airport that kind of shoulder checked Harvey. He said that he makes problems go away, and at the same time her ride shows up. And then when she got in the car, she's like, where have you been? And he was like, I pulled up and the cop said I had to move. How convenient. So he's like, so I circled the block. She's like, next time, goddamn, text me. And he was like, are you okay, ma'am? And she's like actually shook.
Yeah, I would be too. That's so scary.
Yeah.
Super, super scary. Okay. Then
Lewis is working in the pit.
Okay. Then Lewis is working in the pit and Mike comes in to help him. They're both sitting in their old desks. How nostalgic. And Lewis is blaming himself for this statement idea. And Mike's like, actually, I'm not concerned with what got us here. I'm more concerned with getting us out, which is a great attitude to have. Kudos to you, Mike Ross. He suggests that they bring Zane over and more partners because then they'll be able to outvote the other partners. And Lewis needs to make sure that they get the offer and leave the rest to Mike.
Yep. Mike goes to see daddy-in-law Zane to come over and join the firm with 20 loyal lawyers. Zane is not happy to be asked whose name comes first, who's the managing partner, does Harvey even know? Does Harvey even know about this? Because where is he, right? Would you ever leave your home? And Mike tells him that the world thinks his heart lies with him anyway, so he might as well. And they'll figure all that other stuff out. Semantics later.
Yeah, just
those are pretty big semantics.
Small details.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have any backing at his firm anymore, so might as well. Then Mike goes home to Rachel and asks, she's like, how'd the talk with my dad go? Because if her daddy doesn't come around by tomorrow, Spectre Lit could stop existing. And also Rachel went to go see Andy Forsyth about the Seattle job. And she says, listen, Mike, we're young. We don't have any kids yet. Like, literally now is the time. And we could delay the wedding and just go and check it out. And Mike's like, no, we can move the wedding forward.
Yeah.
They're tired of waiting.
Yeah. Rachel is in Donna's office with nothing bad, but it's urgent. She tells her that they're moving up the wedding and she needs Donna to make it happen. One more thing, Donna can't tell Harvey or Jessica.
Because she doesn't want to distract them.
Yeah.
She also doesn't say why they're moving up the wedding.
Right.
I was like, do people think she's pregnant?
Right.
I'm like, no, they're moving. They're leaving you, Donna.
Yeah.
Do you think Donna would work so hard if she knew they were leaving them?
No.
Jessica Pearson then goes to meet with Pat McGann, and he gives her the cashier's check back. He's like, I'm not going to do this. I don't do business with people who force me to fire my friends. And also, you're going to need someone else to fight this case because it looks like Harvey Specter did not file his paperwork to practice in Illinois properly, which I think is, I feel like Donna would file it correctly. Yeah. But they're sitting right by the window at this nice restaurant.
Lewis is on the phone and stressed. Gordon walks in and wants to know what's going to happen. Lewis asks for the agreement to sign, and just at this exact moment, Daddy Zane walks in to welcome the new partners to their firm. Gordon accuses Zane of having a thing for Jessica Pearson. He's like, you watch yourself. And then
I'm happily married to Rachel's mama.
Yeah, and then Lewis says, move your fat face away from mine because I need to talk to my new partner. He is shocked. Zane didn't want Lewis to shit it up. And Zane also wants his name to be up there first. And then Lewis says to Gordon, he's like, thanks. See you later, Sparky. And he calls him Sparky when he leaves.
Sparky.
Yeah.
Sparky's kind of a cute nickname.
Yeah.
Also love shit it up.
Yeah.
Instead of lit up. Jessica then tells Harvey he has kicked off the case, but she has got this. Don't worry. She's sticking to the initial plan. He needs to go home because he needs to get to Mike's wedding and to be with his family because Mike is his family. And she needs to take care of her family here, like her aunt and Angela.
Mike interrogates the attorney for the battery company about how executives pulled their kids from the school and how they took out a larger insurance policy months before they were sued. He admits the plant was toxic and that they took precautions, but it didn't work, and that they offered to make things right. Mike says they can't make things right, but they can do better than say each innocent child's life is only worth $100,000. It's going to be $1 million a family, and the attorney takes it. It's a good closer.
He's a good closer.
Yeah.
He was right, as always.
Yeah.
I don't think he's lost a case.
No.
100% batting average, or whatever that number is for batting averages. Jessica then slams the leverage down on Pat McGann's desk. Turns out photos were taken when they were sitting by that window at that nice restaurant, and it looks like he's paid her off to drop the suit because she's about to drop it. So good luck convincing a jury that he is not guilty. Except to prove it, he's like, well, I'll prove it. Like, don't worry about me. And she goes, actually, to prove it, you're going to have to open up your bank accounts. Also, this is a federal housing project, so the judge and jury and prosecution will not be from Chicago. So they will not be in your pocket.
Right. Jessica gets out of her car to daunting music playing, and that airport baddie is outside her apartment building. He actually works for Mayor Novak, not Pat McGann, and the mayor wants to see her right now.
So then they go under this bridge, and the music's super daunting.
This is the Pearson vibe, by the way, of the show.
Which is a very different vibe from Suits, which is why it felt like two different shows.
Yeah.
And I'm fine I want to stress, like, I would be fine watching the show. Anyways, he's like, she's under a bridge, and the mayor's there, and there's lights, and there's an officer, and all of this, and there's trains going by, and he offers her a job to fix problems for him instead of creating problems. She used to have money, power, and influence, and now she's not even a lawyer anymore. And then a train goes by, and he starts kind of like yell talking to her so she can hear him over the train.
Yeah.
And now she has to decide, like, she's going to drop the lawsuit, never mention the housing project again, and he needs her answer by tomorrow if she's going to take the job.
It's crazy. The wedding is happening, and it's full house, and Harvey is there, and it's all super set up because Donna is awesome. Harvey walks Donna down the aisle, and then Rachel comes down the aisle while they recite mushy vows to each other about how they love each other and how they're strong and they can't wait for their adventure to begin. Michael James Ross and Rachel Elizabeth Zane get married. The music is All of Me playing.
All of me, give me all of you.
Okay.
Mike and Harvey are at the bar after they say I do, and they both say thank you to each other. And then Harvey tells him, you know what, you are senior partner material. He's ready, but that's not going to happen because Mike tells him in this moment on his wedding day that they're not going to come back after their honeymoon. This is 2 weeks notice. He is going to be moving to Seattle. That's who he is. That's who he's always been, except for he actually used to be a marijuana dealer.
Yes.
It is time. Harvey goes to give him a handshake, and Mike gives him a big hug.
Yep.
Full circle.
Jessica tells Jeff she's going to start working for the mayor to change things from the inside, and Jeff doesn't think that she should take it. Justice is looking into the mayor for the murder of the original plaintiff, and he can't convince her otherwise. He hopes that she can lie down with dogs and not come up with fleas. He is very disappointed and upset.
Yeah, I think this is an interesting choice. I think she is kind of power hungry.
Yeah.
She does, and she can't be a lawyer. So.
And I have my thoughts on Pearson. Like, I watched it, so when we watch it,
yeah,
I told you.
You told me that it was kind of like she was mild.
She was lost, and she just didn't have the Pearson like effect in the first several episodes. So it was hard to like really get into it until you could see Jessica Pearson be Jessica Pearson, which is what we're used to when it's a spinoff and it's the same character. Right. You want to see that. You don't want to see a completely new pivot. You know?
Then we see Harvey, and he is processing the news of Mike and Rachel leaving, and he's at the bar at the wedding, and then Donna comes up to check on him, and he asks if she wants to dance, and she says, I don't mind if I do.
Yeah. In Chicago, Jessica's staring out at the skyline for a really long time, and then back in New York, we see Mike and Rachel dancing, and Sheila and Lewis dancing, and Donna and Harvey are all dancing very differently.
Super
to
differently.
The same song that is playing.
Yeah. Mike and Rachel are like cutesy, swaying back and forth. And then Sheila and Lewis are like just laying on each other.
Yeah.
And then Harvey and Donna are doing a spin.
Yeah, because Harvey's like a really good dancer.
In real life?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Gabriel Monk.
That's great. I love when a man's a good dancer.
Yeah. So he's doing the whole thing.
Yes.
All right.
Here we go.
Sometimes when you can't fly to your honeymoon, like Mike and Rachel, you have to take a train.
And sometimes that train is delayed because there's a whole another episode we have to record.
Should we get on this? Oh, of course, we're not going to do it right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that flight, that train is actually leaving next week, Amanda.
Next week, make sure you tune it in. So thanks so much for tuning in. You can check us out at onlysuitsfans.com. You can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And you can listen to us on Apple, Spotify, or anywhere else you get your podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a review.
And if you don't know what to say in your review, you could say, I listened to this podcast one episode at a time.
Love it. Choo-choo.
Chugga chugga.
Choo-choo.
Chugga chugga.
See you next season.